Hi, I'm Mark. Welcome back to Three Bridges again. So this one I'm just an update on where I'm getting on with the new part of the layout. As you know, I'm sort of documenting the building of my layout in my loft and just having lots of fun whilst I do it. So I'll just crack on and show you what I've been up to for the last couple of weeks. So if you watched the one before last, so I think it's episode 18, I'd sort of working on the station section and where the viaduct bridge starts going across. And obviously I've got my two underground lines and my two Chiltern lines. And then this is sort of my good line, Brisbane line, where it goes over the viaduct bridge. So I've just been laying the track that I can for this section. So I've got the station platform in. I've managed to secure in underneath where the tunnel through goes, so that's sort of sitting in the right position now. So what I'm going to work on next, just two aspects. So one will be a panel here that will have all the switches for all my new signals that I've made, and then I'll also start on the scenics for this section here. So this is part how I have the embankment down. It'll go across to where the start of the viaduct bridge will go. So, and I can obviously cover over now the rodding that I've got for my point control. It's going to go upside down. I basically need to keep access this side to the lever frame and the wire. So what I'm going to build is a sort of a removable section that will just run along here. So I've made the base of the removable section. So this whole section here will have to come out both sides. In an ideal world, it'd just be one big section you could just lift out, but obviously I've got a roof strut coming through here and I can't remember exactly. It sort of starts about there and it sort of comes to about there, but it comes up to here. But this is the point where also where I'm going to have the start of the tunnel, just to hide the fact that there's this roof strut coming quite close to the line. So it's Friday afternoon. I started some work early this morning. I built this embankment part and it's just drying now. So that was the initial part. So I thought I'd work on the tunnel sections that are basically hiding the roof strut that comes up here. And so this is the Risborough line and the tunnel. So obviously I've got a stop signal about here. And then obviously the line carries on down into the goods line that goes into London, and then the other line coming across is the girder bridge. So again, it's going to go through a tunnel portal, got another tunnel portal, and then the other side is the tunnel portal with the split. And okay, so I've got the panel completed and everything's wired up at the back. So the last switch will be for the lights that I have at the new station. So the red ones are where everything's on, will normally be set to red as sort of the default, and then you're changing, and then the others are where it's normally on the green. And then it seems like a tangled mess, but there is a logic to it. So everything's on a separate loop, and then they just connect into the various wires that come out of the signals. So majority of threes, green, black and red, and then there's a couple obviously where I've got a featherboard, so there's multiple wires going through for the switches. Well, I'm back to the next long incline section at the back. So this is the part that goes behind the Moor Park station. It's about 2.5 meters long, so I'll just crack on, lay the tracks, and I can start working out how I'm going to do the levers and bell cranks for the points at the other end. Well, the track for the incline at the back's all completed, and you've got the wires in underneath, electrics, and it's all tested, that all works. So what I can work on next is the subframe that it sits on. Hi, so can you see I've got the subframe, the incline on the right, and then the Risborough line start on the left, where the two lines join up at the far end of the shop. So I'm not expecting people to remember what happened last time. So what I've got to do this time round is sort out how I'm going to do the lever and the mechanical rodding to do the 3 points that are over on the incline. And my new sort of signal box for this section is going to be about here. So I'll need to run 3 rods underneath this track work and then raise up over there so they can operate the 3 points. Right, I'm going to start on the for the 3 points that are on the incline. So I got this one, there's quite a height down from the tracks to the subframe. So what I'm going to have is a rocker arm. Try and show you here, and that just basically moves my mechanical movement through the subframe. So the roddings all come from over there. So they're over there where the pencil is, but where the signal box levers will be, and then they'll run under the framework to about here, and then I'll use the rocker arm to transfer the motion up to just underneath the baseboard for the incline, and then I'll transfer it back with a rod to then move the points. Yeah, so with 2 of them I can just basically, the mechanism is to change the point is to throw this way. So the rocker arm is going to go that way, which means the bottom wire will be going that way, and as I pull the lever that will pull the wire that way. So with these 2 I just literally need the rocker arm and the rods. For the middle one, obviously that's the normal, it needs to go that way, so the rocker arm is going to wants to go that way. However, as I pull the lever it goes that way, so I'll put a bell crank in here just to reverse the direction of the movement. First thing to make is the rocker arm bar. So I've just laid everything out, learned from my own experience. You end up missing out a washer or a nut, you have to take the whole thing off and reassemble it. So I'll start from one end and I'll show you as I go along. Rocker arm's made up, so at this end I've got it fixed, and as you see I've got space to attach it with a screw, and then I've basically used nylon nuts either side of the rocker arm just so that the nuts don't move around, and then obviously at the other end I've got space to fit on the last bracket. So that can go on the underside here. I just need to build a little frame, piece of wood basically, to bolt it onto. So got the rocker arm fitted, hadn't really thought about that clearance, so luckily that's just luck. What I did realise is I had the other rocker arm here, about here, in line with the whole point, but obviously I've got to put a bell crank in here, so I've just shifted it across about an inch, but that'll be fine. So now happily move. Just got to remember there on the underside. The only other thing I've got to do obviously now is I'll start building the rods that go through to the points, using the hinges again, so that just holds them in place. I've removed the end incline, that's the Risborough line that runs along here, but I'm just trying to show you what I'm trying to do. So obviously my Amersham signal box will sit about here, where my hand is, and then the line that the rods need to go through to connect with the bell crank is over there. And obviously it's got to pass through this subframe, and it's also going to have to pass through the Incline subframe. So the way I'm going to do it is I'm going to just drill 2mm holes through the subframe so that they will actually support it. So this is the rod, and obviously it's only a tiny amount of movement backwards and forwards, so that will act as good as a hinge clamp. The tricky one is to get from the third one, or the second lever. I need to go, so I'm going to come through the first part of the framework, a bend in the rod, and it will pass through this one, so that one's fairly easy angle to drill, and then I've got to pass through this one here. So the sensible way, because I could tell I was just going to break a drill bit with that one, was to saw down to the depth I want, which I've got, and then take a long drill. I'm trying to work out, I think I've had these about 20 years. I bought them on a project at work. We needed them for one hole, drilled the hole, asked the technician what we're going to do with them. He said they'll go in a drawer and never be used again. You might as well take them home. So, and we bought two in case we broke one. Anyway, I finally get to use it. I mean, it looks okay. I'll assemble the whole lot and put the incline back horizontally and see if we can join them all up. We've got the 3 rods in for the points on the inclines, and they're sort of working okay. They'll need a little bit of tweaking when I get it back in the loft. So that's the first one as you come on the up line towards London from my west coast, as I put it over. Fairly simple movement. So that's the most complex one, where it goes sideways, and then the other 2, so these are my down line from London on the west coast, so I've got that where, and this one, so they throwing those allows me then to divert upline traffic across the viaduct bridge and into the goods yard, and then when it's coming back from the goods yard, it go onto the viaduct bridge, and then I just need to throw the first one actually, my mistake, throw the first one, and then that'll allow the traffic to then proceed on the down line up to Rugby. So the last lever is for the point over here at the end, where you're either going on the Risborough line going into the goods line, or you're coming off the Risborough line and then you're wanting to join the Chiltern line. And I won't build that point till I'm up in the loft, so I can leave this one for now, but because it's right at the front, I've got plenty of space to put the rodding in. So now that the lever and the rods are in for the points, I can start focusing on my Chiltern line and my underground line. What I'll do is I'll just finish off doing the cabling underneath. Hi, so I think I've got as far as I can at the moment with this. I'm waiting on cork so I can permanently attach the tracks for the Chiltern line and the underground line. That'll come next week, and I've sort of done all the wires in that I can do at the moment. So I will take it all back up to the loft, I think, the frame, join the two frameworks up together, and then I can just check everything, and then I'll do the final track laying, corking up there. I did wonder about starting to do the embankment along here, but I need to get this incline in first before I build it up, and I'll need to make this section that's going to go in front of the incline as a sort of removable section that I can pull out, simply because I've got the rodding underneath it. So I think it'd be sensible to have some access to that area. So yeah, making progress. Gone through another box of Pico Streamline Flex Track, so that's 3 now. I suppose at some point I should calculate how much I've laid, but it feels like a lot. It'd be nice to get some trains running on this section and the Moore Park station section, so I think that'll be my next goal, to get them up, get the track laid, and actually get the trains moving along the next section, and just testing out the incline that it still works okay. And then I can do the scenics for this section, and also the next big one is the girder bridge. I've been looking at various images online of sort of girder bridges you see around North London. There's a couple that I quite like that I think I'll adapt and have a go at scratch building one of those. So anyway, hope you've enjoyed watching. If you made it this far, do appreciate it. I know I don't ask people to like and subscribe because that's just the whole point of YouTube. I don't see the point in it. I'm getting pretty close to 300 people subscribing, so just as always stunned, but yeah, I do appreciate those support and comments and thank you very much. Keeps me going. I'm enjoying it and doing it anyway, so I'd do this even if I wasn't doing a YouTube channel, but I just thought I'd share what I'm trying to do. Anyway, as always, thanks for watching. Maybe I'll catch you next time, and happy modelling. Cheers.